And thanks ma'am for this warm welcome and introduction. myNalanda actually works in the area of school analytics. That's actually skill analytics basically, and it talks a lot of research in developing those skills. Today I'm going to share these findings that we have done at myNalanda in developing those skills. So today my topic is student skill analytics for competitive exam readiness of the students. Now, though we are talking about skill analytics and specifically for students, let's actually take little back step and see what this entire education process is. Now, what we are trying to do is we are trying to actually take this potential in the form of students, that's raw potential, and chisel them into a talent, right? We all as an education faculty are working towards this process, and some of us are actually developing the content or knowledge through curriculum. Some of us are trying to make this learning process more creative by introducing projects or making it more games oriented or introducing gamification into it. Some of us are trying to develop the infrastructure, making labs more equipped ones. So some of us are in that direction, and some of us are trying to bring the ease in the learning process by having more technology driven classrooms, such as either interactive classrooms or whiteboards or smart boards into the classroom. And some of us are trying to make the classroom environment more cozy, more attention driven, and more comfortable. But all of us are trying to do some of the other part, trying to convert this potential into the talent. If you see all these things, you would see that this still are going into the input side of the process. We still are, there are very few efforts to understand what comes out of this efforts. When we put all these efforts into this process, what comes as a talent? What are the markers? What are the indicators that we need to measure or monitor to see that the process is very smooth or effortless? And that's what we call as quality learning outcomes that we want to measure. Or we sometimes call that evidence-based learning. And in evidence-based learning or quality learning outcome, that measurement should be quantitative. It should be data-driven, because that's where we are going to compare whether this experiment or this, whatever we are trying to do this in process, is effective or not. And that's where I want to introduce you a new terminology called as school analytics. Now, this is not very new terminology. There are few schools who are actually trying to build analytics based on the academic scores. Particularly, there are some efforts wherein, in physics, chemistry, or biology, or any other subjects, how the scores are increasing, how the classroom is there, what is the classroom composition, and on an organization, on a school level, how in a particular subject or in a particular area, how the students look or position looks. That's where we talk about school analytics, and that's where national or international efforts are also focused. But there are, and on a global level, there is also some efforts in terms of capturing the real behavioral analysis of the students, video capturing it. And this kind of analytics is also available. But when you talk about these two analytics, it's still on the input side, right? What kind of skills that we are expecting into students does not give these kind of answers. So when we talk about the skills that needs to be developed as a part of the education process, that's where we at myNalanda are doing. So precisely measuring the individual at and also at our organizational, the skills is what we are going to talk about school analytics. Now, at myNalanda, during a lot of research we have done, we have seen that there are almost 100 or more than 100 parameters that goes into the quality measurement that actually goes into that are required to monitor, to measure what's the quality learning happening in the school. And what we have come up is that the 74 parameters, which includes skills,